In today's episode, I am going to give you a 101 course about the popular weight loss medication semaglutide and the real truth about it that you are not going to find from social media. Then, at the end of this episode, I'm going to answer the top 4 questions that I get about semaglutide every day. Are you struggling with weight loss despite trying everything? You're not alone. Welcome to the Real Results for Life podcast, where we dive deep into the secrets of sustainable weight loss. I'm your host, Jamie Young, founder of Real Results Medical Weight Loss, located in Kennesaw, Georgia. With over 10 years in the medical weight loss industry, I've successfully guided hundreds of clients to their dream weights. In this podcast, we will explore the keys to sustainable weight loss and make healthy choices an important part of your lifestyle. At Real Results, we offer comprehensive solutions from online programs and medical appetite suppressants to personalized one-on-one coaching. Join me on this transformative journey to discover and embrace the best version of yourself, ensuring you look and feel great both from the inside out. Together, let's achieve lasting results, starting today and continuing for life. So let's start at the beginning. What is semaglutide? Semaglutide is a GLP-1 class of medication that changes the way your body processes carbohydrates. GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide. And what this type of medication does is it mimics the GLP hormone that is released in your GI tract while you eat. One of the things that the GLP hormone does in the body is it stimulates the production of insulin, which reduces your blood sugar. Now, I know that was a huge mouthful. Later on in future episodes, I'm going to bring on my medical director to go through this and explain it a lot better than that. And we're going to dive really deep into how it works. So stay tuned for future episodes. Before we get started, please remember that the information we share here is for educational purposes and from personal experience. Each individual's health, fitness, and nutrition needs are unique. Therefore, please consult a healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet or exercise routine. Let's learn together responsibly and make informed decisions about our health. Enjoy the show. Semaglutide was originally designed for diabetic patients to help them maintain healthy insulin and A1C levels. So the big question, how did it get involved in the weight loss market? I'm glad you asked. So, during clinical trials of the semaglutide, they being the researchers, found that semaglutide was significantly reducing hunger and patients were losing weight without major changes to their daily routines. The FDA approved semaglutide for weight loss in 2022, and it has taken the weight loss world by storm. So I started my business in 2017. And at that time, there were 2 main options for weight loss. It was phentermine for hunger control and HCG for rapid weight loss. HCG is not available now like it was then. And phentermine is just an appetite suppressant. It doesn't fix anything metabolically going on that's sabotaging your weight loss efforts behind the scenes. Phentermine is also a stimulant, and not everyone can take it because it can increase your blood pressure and your heart rate. So semaglutide, when we added this into our menu of services, it has been a game changer for patients. It has been incredible to watch. They have tried phentermine, they've tried HCG, they've counted macros, they've done all sorts of different diet styles, and they weren't getting anywhere. And it was so frustrating. But now that we have this new medication and we have a lot more options medication-wise that we'll dive into in future episodes, but today we're really focusing on the semaglutide, is we have something for everyone, which is really, really exciting now versus when back in 2017 where we had 2 choices that really weren't great for everyone. Okay, so next we're going to dive into the top 4 questions that I get every day on semaglutide, every single day. So the first one, people ask me, does it really decrease your hunger? And the answer is overwhelming yes. So semaglutide, it slows down your digestion. So you're going to feel fuller faster. And even if you want to eat more, and this is the real cool part, even if you wanted to eat more, you physically cannot do it. A medication like phentermine, if you really wanted that cupcake, like you could eat it. You would, you'd kind of feel bad, but nothing's really stopping you but your willpower. But with this medication, you cannot eat that. And it's not that you're not craving it. Your body doesn't want it, because if you eat past that point of when your body tells you, no, I don't want that. And if you eat past that point, your body will get rid of that food one way or another. So trust me on that. You don't want to, you don't want to roll the dice there. So it is a different kind of hunger control than we have seen in any other type of medication. Question number 2 is, are there any side effects to this medication? And the answer is yes. So there are a few side effects, decreased appetite being the major side effect, which is exciting. But other side effects that are not so fun can occur after the first dose. Mild nausea. It could be, in some patients, it actually can be severe nausea. Lightheadedness, fatigue, confusion, heartburn. We hear a lot from patients is heartburn is a side effect that they don't love. Sulfa burps is another one. But all of these can be controlled and managed. So you don't really know what side effects you're going to have with the medication until you try it. And remember, to try it is, a lot of people are hearing on social media, they're hearing on the news even that this is a super dangerous medication. And it can be dangerous for people who don't need to be on it. So at Real Results, we are looking at the patient's medical history. We are looking at their lab work, and we are making sure that they are medically qualified to take the medication. And then once they are, if you are medically qualified, you're going to have less side effects, generally speaking, than the people that you're hearing about ending up in the hospital with pancreatitis never needed to be on the medication in the first place, and probably weren't getting it from a provider who was really looking out for their best interests. I've actually heard a lot of patients out there are using this medication without labs at all, which is super dangerous. I would highly encourage you to make sure you have a provider who is looking at your labs, looking at your medical history, and monitoring it every 3 to 6 months. At Real Results, we actually monitor it every 16 weeks. So, question number 3, do you have to take semaglutide forever? The answer to that is it depends. So yes, if you are a diabetic, then you need this medication. It's going to help regulate your A1C and your insulin. And so diabetic patients are on this medication long term. And it's the semaglutide, it's a shot once a week in your stomach. So it's it's a tiny needle, and it's really easy to do versus taking pills daily. So if you are not a diabetic, the doctor will taper your dosage down once you have hit your goal weight or your healthier BMI. So there are 5 levels of semaglutide. You go up month by month on the titration schedule, and you stay at the top as long as, again, your labs are looking good. You're not having any abdominal pain or nausea, vomiting, things like that. And then once you're at your goal weight, we're going to taper you off just like you did. The ramp goes up and the ramp goes down. If you just cold turkey and stop the medication, and it's not going to go well, honestly. You really need to let your body get used to life without it. And that's why we do that decline ramp. So there are the patients that are diabetic, and then there are the ones that are not diabetic who are going to taper their dosage down. But then there is kind of this new third class of patient group that they actually are considering doing a maintenance dose. And it's a low dose of the semaglutide medication. But if they're not on that low dose medication, their insulin goes up and their metabolic picture just goes cuckoo. So some patients will, even though they're not full diabetic, they will take a very low dose of it long term to keep all their lab levels in a healthy range. So in summary about this question of if you should take semaglutide forever, this really is a case-by-case basis, which is decided by your medical provider. So if you're diabetic, you can stay on it. If you're not diabetic, you can taper off your dosage and not have to take the medication forever. But then even if you're not fully diabetic, patients who have insulin resistance can benefit from a low dose to help regulate insulin resistance. And the one that I hear most often, will I gain all my weight back when I stop semaglutide? So if you go back to eating old habits that got you to the undesired weight to begin with, and you stop semaglutide, then yes, you will gain your weight right back. However, this is not unique for GLP-1 medications, but any weight loss therapy you use. If you get results with the treatment, stop and go back to the old habits that made you gain weight in the first place, you will regain your weight. So what's really important is that when you add a medication like semaglutide, is that you're making lifestyle changes along the way, because there really are two types of patients who get results from semaglutide. Patient number one, they don't change anything about their lifestyle. They use the semaglutide and they get to their goal weight. Person number two, they are going to change their lifestyle. They're going to start incorporating physical activity, drinking plenty of water, like we talked about last week. They are going to change what they're eating and when they're eating. And when they taper off that semaglutide medication, they have a completely different looking lifestyle than they had before they started. So out of those two patients, the first patient we talked about who didn't change anything but just used the medication, when they stop taking the medication, they will gain their weight back. So that's just important to remember. But the other cool thing about that is those two patients are going to get results. And that was the cool thing that the FDA found out is patients, during these clinical trials, they were not changing their lifestyles in huge ways. They really just added the medication in and saw the weight loss. So you can and will get results on this medication. Again, you've got to be medically qualified for it and everything. And you will get results, but what happens after that is really dependent on a healthy lifestyle and a new routine with diet and exercise. And if you implement those new routines, then you are going to maintain your results when you're done with the semaglutide. I hope you are enjoying this episode so far. And I know that weight loss can be overwhelming, and sometimes you don't even know where to start. Well, I have a quiz for you to help you get over that first step. So it's called Which Weight Loss Prescriptions Are Right for You? And it's going to ask you questions on your medical history and your lifestyle. And the resource can be found on my website at realresultsforlife.com, and click on the appetite suppressant section. By doing this quiz, it can point you in that right direction. And sometimes you just have to take that first step to get your real results. Okay, team, it is time for Jamie's Gems. So this is a fun little segment of the show where I'm going to give you a takeaway, a really quick takeaway that will help you reach your goals that you can start applying today. So in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting, you have probably heard about. It is all the buzz right now, and there are so many different types of intermittent fasting. So there's a 16 to 8, there's a 20 to 4, and all sorts of things in the middle. And I have seen with my clients that there are 3 important things that intermittent fasting does that will help you reach your results. So if all those numbers that I said don't mean anything to you, it's okay. I'm going to give you the 3 highlights about what intermittent fasting does for you, and you can implement those today. So number 1, intermittent fasting limits late night eating. So what I encourage clients to do is at dinner, finish dinner, get full, and then enjoy water, LaCroix, sleepy time tea after that meal, and not do late night snacking. Late night snacking can really sabotage your weight loss journey. Even if it's a healthy snack, the body just doesn't love to eat right before it goes to sleep. So be done at dinner, have those things that I listed, water, teas, and until you go to bed. So number 2, it allows for your metabolism to rest when you incorporate a intermittent fasting style. So just like us, when we are sleep deprived, we don't function efficiently. Your metabolism is the same way. If you are sleep deprived and your body is not having a chance to rest, then your metabolism is not going to work well for you during the day. So by eating at dinner and then limiting late night eating, and then of course when you're sleeping and having water by your bedside is fine, then your metabolism is going to get the rest that it needs so it can work efficiently. And reason number 3 is breaking your fast correctly. So you have probably heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And I would actually argue, yes, that's true, but it doesn't matter when breakfast is. Breakfast could be at noon if you want it to be, but how you break your fast is the most important meal of the day. So, what breaks your fast? Any calorie. So, any calorie you have. So, where people really mess this up, I'll be honest with you, is when people put creamer in their coffee in the morning, they don't eat till lunch, and then they have a glass of wine after dinner. And that really just messes up the whole three topics that I'm telling you about, because the creamer in the morning in their coffee actually gets their metabolism revved up. But then it doesn't have anything to run on. So if you have your coffee at 6 a.m., but you're not eating till noon, you have just kind of like revving an engine. You have revved up your metabolism and then it's tanked because it doesn't have anything else to go on. And your body is not burning fat before noon. It's just not going to do it. So when you break your fast with any calorie, you want to have protein, a solid serving of protein within 30 minutes. So these typically could be eggs if you are a breakfast person. It can be cottage cheese. It could be a low sugar yogurt. It could be lunch. It could be a salad with chicken. It could be just a serving of chicken. So it really doesn't matter what it is. You need to have protein within 30 minutes of breaking your fast. So if you focus on those three things, limiting late night eating, allowing your metabolism to rest, and breaking your fast correctly, even if you are not technically intermittent fasting, you will reach your results faster. I hope that this 101 course on semaglutide was helpful and answered your most basic questions. And I hope that you incorporate my 3 important intermittent fasting tips so that you can keep reaching your real results. Thank you for tuning in to the Real Results for Life podcast. Your dedication to self-improvement is truly inspiring. If you're serious about achieving your goals, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. By subscribing to this podcast, it will provide you with ongoing encouragement and support, filling your cup with valuable tips and motivation to help you succeed. At Real Results, we're excited to offer you several online weight loss solutions that cater specifically to your goals. One program I'm thrilled to highlight today is our Semaglutide at Home program. It's specifically designed to kickstart your weight loss journey and support you every step along the way, right from the comfort of your own home. Our program begins with the Semaglutide online launch package, which will give you immediate access to our comprehensive online coaching program. This includes training videos, dietary guides, hundreds of recipes, and more. The package covers the cost of your initial lab work and a virtual appointment with our medical director. Once approved for the medication, your semaglutide will be automatically billed, shipped, and delivered directly to your door. Achieving your health goals has never been more straightforward or convenient. Are you ready to transform your life like hundreds of my other clients? Click the link in the show notes or go to realresultsforlife.com to learn more and join our Semaglutide at Home program today. Thank you again for listening. Remember, with dedication and the right support, real results are within reach.